Let's talk about Bernard Arnault. He's a name synonymous with luxury goods. Arnault is the CEO of LVMH, and he has spent nearly 4 decades building his fortune, creating a luxury goods empire that boasts some of the most prestigious brands in fashion, jewelry, and alcohol. Now, he has an estimated net worth of around 221 billion. And he frequently vies with the likes of Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk for the title of the world's richest man. Arnault's business strategy revolves around a few key principles. And if you're keen to understand why high net worth individuals buy luxury, then it's crucial to grasp these fundamental motivations. I'm Paul Russell, co-founder of Luxury Academy, and as a dedicated training partner for renowned luxury companies worldwide, I've gained unique insights into these motivations. So there are 3 types of motivation that you really need to understand. But first, let's address the fundamental psychological strategy that's at play in the minds of luxury consumers. One that they're often very unaware of, and it's called heuristics. Put simply, heuristics are decision-making shortcuts, and on any given day, we as humans employ thousands of these shortcuts. So how has this helped Arnault amass his vast fortune? By understanding the 5 luxury heuristics, you can understand how the luxury consumer makes buying decisions. It's really that straightforward. Number 1 is what we call the price-quality heuristic, or the price-quality bias. And we often believe that if we pay more for something, we get a better product. But there's a limit to quality, even for luxury goods. A £30,000 Birkenberg isn't inherently superior in quality to a £3,000 one. That's where heuristic number 2 comes in, brand prestige. High net worth clients often use a brand as a shortcut for assessing value and quality. This ties in with the price quality heuristic. A Birkenberg costs $30,000 because it's Hermes. The brand impacts the decision making. Would you pay either of these prices without that brand logo? Unlikely. Number 3 is scarcity. The desire for what's rare or exclusive is incredibly powerful. Luxury brands understand this and often create scarcity to drive demand, sometimes intentionally in the case of the Birkenberg, and sometimes unintentionally in the case of Patek Philippe. Number 4 is social proof. Luxury purchases are very often influenced by how product or brand is perceived within our social circle. Endorsements from peers, work colleagues, and friends can greatly impact desirability. And finally, number 5 is what we call the aesthetic appeal heuristic. Just like we perceive something that is more expensive as better quality, we also perceive something that is attractive and elegant as better quality and more reliable. Apple products are a prime example of the aesthetic appeal heuristic. Now that you understand heuristics, let's delve into the motivations behind them, shall we? By understanding these motivations, you become a much more effective luxury expert. There are 3 primary motivations that you need to be aware of. The first is called personal pleasure, or hedonic motivation. And it's the intrinsic pleasure that you get from owning or experiencing a product or service. And we experience it either through the desire to reward yourself when celebrating a success or milestone, or through self-expression and identity, where we're motivated by what an item or what a brand says about us to the outside world. Away from luxury, this might involve buying an iPhone over, say, an Oppo, because the iPhone symbolizes innovation, style, and status. Most of you who are brainwashed by Apple are going to say, oh, it's the Apple ecosystem. Most people who own an iPhone don't own an iMac, a MacBook, an iPad, or a Vision Pro, so buying an iPhone is actually a status choice. Secondly, we have social motivators. It comes as no surprise that most luxury items serve as a status or symbol of prestige. Conformity and a sense of belonging is also at play here. If everyone in your social group is wearing Chanel, Dior, and Gucci, then there's a higher than normal chance that you will be motivated to wear these designers as well. It's a form of peer pressure, but it's more about fitting in and conforming to the social norms of your peer group. And contrary to popular belief, very few people actually want to be unique and stand out from the crowd. Our prefrontal cortex and our amygdala insist on conformity for both social acceptance and for safety. You see a lot of this in schools without uniforms. Different groups will develop different uniforms themselves. And if you don't have the right trainers or the right school bag and so forth, you're going to be rejected from the group, but nobody wants that. And we're motivated by the recommendations of our social peer group as well. What would my BFF think about this if I bought this? Or what will my partner think about it? Will they find me attractive if I wear this? This is called social influence, where our buying behavior is guided by social cues. And lastly, we have cultural motivations. And this is a subject too vast to cover here, but there are two very important things to be aware of: cultural capital and tradition and heritage. So cultural capital relates to buying a brand or wearing a particular luxury item to look sophisticated and to demonstrate to the outside world that you have knowledge of culture and arts. There are some rather silly parts of present-day society who wrongly believe this motivation is cultural appropriation. If you were to walk down Bond Street wearing Indian kata pajamas, there's a high chance that you're going to be accosted by some unshowered 20-something-year-old troglodyte screaming at you for appropriating a culture. And I'm talking from experience here. If you were to walk through Colaba in Mumbai wearing the same outfit, you'd be stopped and complimented by Indians young and old, telling you how great you look and thank you for wearing their local clothing. The other significant cultural motivation is heritage and tradition. Never underestimate the significance of history and heritage that a brand plays in consumer decisions. Saboureux suits, pearls from Oman, all benefit from the cultural motivation that encompasses their legacy and identity. And it provides a sense of exclusivity for luxury consumers. So in summary, the masters of luxury goods understand the psychological motivations and heuristics that influence why high net worth clients buy luxury. It's that simple.